This is the Sideline Slice, presented by Valentino's Pizza, the official pizza of the Huskers. Here's your host, Jessica Coody, and Husker Radio Network analyst, Jeremiah Sirles.
Welcome back into another victory episode of the Sideline Slice, presented by Valentino's Pizza with Jeremiah Sirles. I'm Jessica Coody, and Sirles, we got another W to talk about. 3-0 for the first time since 2016, and your kiddos had a time on Saturday night.
They did. They had so much fun. It was my daughter's first game. My son, it was his second game, and they were just all day long. We did the tailgating scene. We got to go into the champions area. We had a friend there. Shout out Randy Haas, the man. He let us go in, and, you know, from just eating the snacks and the hot dogs and the atmosphere and wanting the stickers to put on their cheeks to, you know, it's weird to say, but I got, like, weirdly emotional at the beginning of the game, like, seeing them as, like, we're doing the claps and they're going the Go Big Red chant and the Husker Power chant, and I just had this, like, kind of like, whoa, this is kind of crazy. Like, I started my career here, and I was here for the 300th sellout playing on that field, and here we are 99 sellouts later, and I'm here with my two kids. Like, it was a really weirdly emotional, but so much fun. They made it all the way to the light show in the fourth quarter before we had to go. They were super upset there was no drone, so I don't know what's going on with that. I was promised a drone show. They're super upset about that, but they had so much fun. They can't wait to go back. The first thing my daughter asked me when we got back at 10:30 at night was, can we go back tomorrow? I was like, sorry, honey, we only got a few more left.
Aw, a little technical difficulty with the drones, but all plans are they'll be back this weekend or this Friday night, and they got a special show planned for the 400th sellout. So sorry that your kids missed it, but you'll just have to bring them back so they can see it the next time.
They'll be back. Don't you worry.
I thought it was funny that they were like 10:30 at night. Can we go back tomorrow?
Oh, yeah, she was ready. I mean, the whole way home, she was like, I love it. I want to go back. I want to play football. I was like, oh, that's sweet. But no, honey, maybe Oliver. Maybe we can go cheer on Oliver.
You had sent Greg and me a tweet about Dion talking to a little kid about training their kids to love Nebraska or hate Colorado. I don't know, whatever it was that he said. But you basically are proving him, right? You're training your kids to love the Huskers.
Yeah, it's really easy to do. I mean, it's not a hard thing to show something that you love deeply with all of your heart, and then to share that with your kids and to have them see what it means, and the amount of people that were there and how people were walking up to them like, oh, you're such a cute Husker fan. Is this your first game? And I mean, I can't even count how many people were just so friendly and so welcoming to them for their first game. And Aylin got to the point where she was telling everyone it was her first game because everyone kept asking about it, and they're like, oh, have so much fun, honey, and the whole bit. And yeah, I mean, Dion can be like, oh yeah, you know, they come to see us. Shut up, Dion. No one's coming to see you. Everyone's coming here to see the Huskers. Everyone's coming here. When there was a 4-win team, there was 90,000 here. When we're a 10-win team, there's going to be 90,000 here because of the love for the Huskers that instills at a very little age.
Preach. Hey,
I'll get on my soapbox about that all day.
Okay, well, let's dive into it. What were your biggest positives that you took away from the third win in a row, and again, 3-0 for the first time since 2016?
I mean, we're going to keep talking about this kid, but 15, holy cow,
yeah.
Man. I mean, what he was able to do and throw the football down the field. And honestly, my favorite throw of that entire game, it came on maybe the first or the second drive, and I got to sit next to Rex Burkhead. He got inducted to the Husker Hall of Fame. We went to the ceremony, and we were sitting together at the game. And it was a very minuscule 8-yard throw that no one really probably thought anything about. But it was this perfect throw up over the linebackers, but the ball gets down before it gets to the safeties with the guy in between. And it's an incredibly hard throw. It's an NFL-style throw of up and over, drop it in the pocket to where only your receiver can get it with perfect touch. And me and Rex both looked at each other like, did you just see that? Like, that's a throw I watched Josh Allen make. And he's like, that's a throw I watched Tom Brady make. Right? Like, those are the type of throws that he's putting on the field, of those touch passes and the arm talent that we continue to talk about. And then to press it down the field and have a guy in your face and roll out. He is going to give us a chance in every game. I can't say enough great things about him, but I just love the poise and the confidence that he came out with, coming off a big week, coming off a big emotional win against CU, and then to come out here and handle business like it's just another day at the office. That's a level of maturity that I'm not used to seeing from an 18-year-old.
Yeah, there are two things I think that impressed me the most about him. And I think, again, as a true freshman, and Coach Roll had actually brought this up too in the TV show recording about, how he's spreading the ball around. So I feel like maybe there might be times you get locked in on one guy, but I mean, how many times out 3 different games and we're calling different guys, a lot of different guys' names in every single game. I mean, it was Carter Nelson and it's been Ja'Cory Barney, Isaiah Nair, Jamal Banks. I mean, you can go down the list. He's so comfortable throwing the ball and getting so many different guys involved.
Yeah, and that's just taking what the defense gives you. I mean, that's not having to be locked in, and it speaks a ton to the wide receivers coaching and the tight ends coaching and all those guys understanding that the ball can come to you at any time. You may be the second option or the third option on this route concept, but if they jump the route and do a thing, this quarterback's going to get through his progressions and get the ball to you. So be ready, stay ready, and then we'll be able to scheme things up because they'll never be able to get a bead on who's getting the football. And to have the high-level IQ to be able to do that as an 18-year-old is unbelievable, because the jump from high school to college is light years, right? I mean, the jump from college to NFL is even way more light years, and you're seeing all the poor rookie quarterbacks they haven't thrown a touchdown yet, right? That's big boy football. But the jump that he made from this time last year playing Friday Night Lights in a high school field in Arizona to in front of 90,000 people against college level, I hate that my computer does that, against college level type players, it's just really fun to watch, and this offense is clicking and rolling, and if we can continue to get the run game moving where it needs to be, we're going to be a very complete offensive football team. So,
and I know, again, it's a full football team, and Dylan's the first to tell you that it is more than just about me, but I think we've seen that he's certainly special. But what I've noticed just through 3 games on the sideline and seeing him interact with his teammates and, just how he's handled his business is how well respected he is and how well liked he is by this football team. I mean, and it's not just the offensive side of the ball, it's the defense. I watched him have a very long conversation with Jamari Butler sitting on the sideline last week, and just the interaction with Ty Robinson. And so, and those guys just rave about Dylan. And you've been a part of a lot of different teams, have a lot of different quarterbacks. I've covered teams that have had a lot of different quarterbacks. There's just such a difference when the quarterback is that well liked from top to bottom by a football team.
That well liked and that young.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're young, you don't have a lot of respect walking into the door. Respect is earned, not given. And Raiola obviously walked in as the top nation recruit, highest recruit we've ever had. That's all great. But once you walk through those doors into that locker room, you have to earn every bit of that. And from the moment he got here in January to where he's at now, just shows that week in, week out, day out, he's done everything right. Because if you come in and you're screwing around in winter workouts, or you're not showing up, or you're showing up late, or you're kind of being too big for your britches or whatever, it's going to be really hard to earn that love and that respect from your teammates. But to see the way that he interacts with the 5th-year seniors or the 6th-year seniors, the Van Wilder colleges forever, and to see the way that everyone interacts back with him as their leader, it's the behind-the-scenes stuff that none of us will ever see as to what has earned that. And if he could do that as an 18-year-old, it's only going to continue to get better and better as he gets older. And it's no secret, it's hard to win without a great trigger man. And I think everyone on the team saw what Dylan could do, seen what he can do through the first 3 weeks here, and knows that he is a great trigger man. And so we want to rally behind this guy because we will go as far as he will take us. And when you have 11 starters on offense and 11 starters on defense that rally behind that guy, and then you add the other 100 teammates around him and the coaching staff, that's how great players lead great teams.
Great stuff. Okay, let's talk about the offensive line, because, right before the game, the availability report came out, and listed as unavailable was Micah Mazuka, and you are a big fan of his. You have raved about the job that he's been able to do and what he provides to that offensive line. Henry Lutovsky steps in and gets the start. He's a guy that's got a lot of experience, has been around, certainly, and has been a part of this program. But I guess, first of all, overall, how'd you evaluate the O-line and how Henry did stepping in for Micah?
Yeah, I thought Henry did a very nice job, and that's exciting to see, the development of a player that came in and has gotten better every year and stepped into a starting role this week. I know it was Northern Iowa, but I thought he played very solid. up and down the board. I thought everyone across the line played a very solid football game, and Turner Corcoran especially, a guy that we were really concerned about that position when Teddy Prohaska got hurt and kind of what was going to happen and go from there. And he just continued to have another rock-solid game out there at left tackle. And, hey, I think he has a lot of confidence moving in. But it's really hard to not see Micah out there, because watching Micah through the first 2 weeks, I loved it. He's a road grader. He's a mauler. He's a tone setter up front. And I was really excited through his first 2 performances. And so I'm wishing that kid nothing but the best. I hope he can get whatever he does need to get handled and get back, because I think he's going to play a big role in this offensive line success and what they can do running the football, especially. We struggled to run the ball at times, or we didn't get a chance to run the ball as much as we would like to. And I do think a piece of it is because we were missing a very big right guard that just can move people out of the way.
Coach Rule did say this week that he's still a part of the team, doing what he's asked, but he's not going to play on Friday, so the Huskers will be without him on Friday, but hopefully we will see Micah Mazuka back eventually. So it's going to be Henry again. But, you just hit on a little bit of what he brings. How much more of a challenge is it to face a team like Illinois without a guy like Micah Mazuka?
Yeah, it's going to be really tough, because Illinois is a very tough football team. They're very disciplined. They're a Bret Bielema football team, which means that their floor is 7-5 with a chance to win 10 games every year, because they're going to play physical football on the line of scrimmage that's built that way, and they're going to have some big running backs, and they're going to have downhill linebackers. And when I cut on the Illinois tape, it's like I'm watching a carbon copy of when I played Wisconsin when I was at Nebraska. They're big, they're physical, and they run hard. And so when you're missing a guy up front that can help offset some of that physicalness that the Illinois defense has, it's going to be a bit of a challenge. But also, great when there's a challenge and there's a thing like that, it creates great opportunity for guys like Henry Lutovsky. It creates great opportunities for Ben Scott and Evan Jenkins to be, Evan. Is
Justin
it Jenkins?
Evans.
Yeah, Justin Evans. I know he dropped the Jenkins. I'm sorry, buddy. He's done a great job the first few games, and it gives confidence for those guys to step up into more of that leadership role and carry more of the burden, knowing that they have a new starter over there at right guard, and be able to look at the guys and say, "Run behind me. I'm here. I'm ready. I'm a vet now. I have playing experience. Run behind me. I'm going to get this done." And if we can get Micah back and those guys continue to elevate their games around him, it's going to bode well for this offensive line.
You've made it clear you're a big fan of Dante Dowdell, and expect big things from him. But it was your other guy, Emmett Johnson, that really did some really nice things both in the run game and pass game. What'd you like out of Emmett and what he was able to do with this offense?
Emmett's versatility is very, very good to have. And, Ramir's been this way too, with the ability to catch the football out of the backfield, also get in that shiftiness and to bounce it and be able to turn the corner with some really good speed. And it just goes back to the ability to rely on multiple guys in the running back room is such a gift. And I hope as Husker Nation we can look at that and really appreciate the job that's been done in recruiting and appreciate the job that's been done in development to have multiple guys that can come in and run this offense in a high level from the running back position and have success, because we're going to need them all. We're going to need them all. And Emmett Johnson showed, last week was the Dowdell show, downhill heavy, running right out on the teeth. This week we had to get on the edges a little bit more, get him in some space, get him out there. And I think that he's going to be a really good screen game back. Guy, when you have rushers that are trying to pin their ears up and get up the field, the ability to just flip it out to him in space, get a couple blockers out in front of him and have him be that shiftiness and go. So I love that we're throwing a lot of different things on tape. A lot of different players on tape. It gives Illinois a ton to prepare for coming in on a short week.
Listen, since we've been doing this podcast, we have spent a lot of time praising the defense and week in and week out. But how about this, especially through the first 3 weeks, we're sitting here and we're pointing out a lot of different positives, and it's different people each week that we're pointing out that are doing good things for this offense.
Yeah, everyone's stepping up in big ways, and it's such a great, refreshing thing to see that it doesn't run through one person. I think you and I can be like, hey, we got to get the ball to Palmer, right? Like, ball's got to go to Palmer more if we want to score points. Or, man, ball's got to go through Adrian or Divino Zigbo or whatever it is. I cut this film on, and I'm going, man, the ball can go to anyone, because we've got probably the most talented group of playmakers out on the edge that I can recall since having Stanley Morgan and that type of crew from top to bottom at the receiver position. And then Carter Nelson looked very gifted at the tight end position. Fedoni's coming back into his stride a little bit too, and Borkacher's as solid as they come from a tight end. Then you look all the way across the board, every position room you could break down and go, the depth and the growth from the people inside this position room has gotten better every single year. And we're seeing the fruits of these guys' labors really go out there. And you're getting to see a really talented quarterback distribute to all of them, so everyone's getting to use their talents and their gifts. It's fun to watch. It's exciting to watch. And I think Satterfield has also found ways to play with shiny new toys as well.
So, and then flipping quickly, we'll hit a couple different points on the defense from last week. But, you know, Coach Rule had said at halftime, listen, it's 3 points that we just gave up, but guys are not happy with the performance because we have a certain standard now. It's not just about winning. It's about playing how we expect to play. And he wasn't happy with the tackling. And so, you know, I know it's been addressed this week. I chatted with Ty Robinson today, and they certainly have made it an emphasis and are holding guys accountable, certainly. And, you know, I guess, were you concerned at all? How concerned should you be in just that first half that it wasn't up to the standard? How quickly can it get corrected? Yeah,
it was a weird feeling, and you were there. It was kind of a, I don't want to call out Husker Nation, it was kind of dead in that stadium. You know, it wasn't as...
This is boring.
It was boring. And I think that this defense, for the first time this year, right, because the first 2 weeks was electric. Everyone was excited. Everyone was popping off in the stadium, the buzz, you could feel it. But I feel like this was the first week that I saw the defense come out and not be able to feed off the crowd, and they weren't able to create their own energy. They weren't able to create their own energy through a negative play or a sack or a big TFL, and it showed. It showed. We weren't able to get off the field on third downs. They were gaining way too many yards on first down, and we were playing behind the sticks, and we bowed our necks when we needed to and didn't allow them in the end zone. But when you're playing against an opponent like an Illinois, or you're going to play against the UCLAs, the USCs that have more talent, that can't happen. You can't allow a team to just move the ball up and down the field and then just rely on the bend, don't break defense when you show up into the red zone. That's not a recipe for winning football. And it wasn't because guys weren't trying hard or any of that stuff. I just think they were a little flat and were never really able to get themselves going. And the standard is the standard. And if you put things on tape like you did through the first 2 weeks, you can't regress. You cannot regress in this league. You have to always be getting better. You have to always try and one-up what you did the week before. And didn't see that from this defense this week, unfortunately, that I was hoping to know more 3-and-outs, more sacks. We got to the quarterback better late in the game, but not enough TFLs. And that's the kind of stuff that Rule's talking about that is the standard. And I love hearing that because, yeah, we won. And trust me, I'm the first one to not look a gift horse in the face. I'm very excited that we're 3-0, and everyone can calm down that wants to be upset at the fact that we're 3-0. We didn't beat Illinois by 50 or Northern Iowa by 50. It's okay. But there are certain things that you can't accept. And just because you win, it's not, oh, yeah, we'll get it fixed next week. No, when you win, you can be even more hypercritical. You can be even more attention to detail. Because, yes, you won, but why could it have been better? Why are we chasing to be better than just winning a football game? We want to be a dominant football team. The end goal is always to win. But if you can dominate all 4 quarters, you're going to win more times than you're going to lose. And so the standard's to look more on that domination side, and that's what Rule's talking about. And I guarantee that's what Ty and Nash and Singleton and Bullock and all those guys understand that. And I'm excited to see what this Husker defense can come out, because I think they're going to come out with something to prove this week more, because they're not happy with the yards they allowed last week to UNI.
You just took the question out of the last one before we closed the chapter and moved on, was just that, hey, you win 34-3, you're 3-0, and there are some people that are pointing out and not happy with some of the things. What would be your message? But I think you just answered it.
Yeah, hey, first of all, tell me that a year ago we would have been begging to be 3-0, right? All I hear every offseason, I just want to go back to a bowl game. Oh, I just want to go back to a bowl game. And here we are 3-0 halfway to a bowl game, and people are like, ugh, 30 points? We only beat them. Hey, be happy. It's okay to be happy. Matt Rule is doing Matt Rule things. I'm so excited, and to get calls from guys around the country, like former clients, former players, and be like, hey, Is Nebraska back? Be like, damn right we're back, right? Like, we're back, and we're doing things the right way, and it's because we have a great head coach. And let's just rally behind this guy. Let's not get too nitpicky. I was listening to Big Red Wrap-Up. Let's not ask about where the football is or where the fullback is. Like, let's just let's calm down with that, and let's just be really excited about this year's Husker team and know that Matt Rule's doing a great thing, and I'm just going to see improvement every single week.
Great stuff there.
Valentino's, treasured Italian family recipes passed down for generations. Valentino's has become Nebraska's classic Italian tradition and proudly served in Memorial Stadium for over 30 years.
Okay, let's move on. Let's talk Illinois. And you had alluded to this earlier, but you're familiar with playing Bret Bielema teams, and we've heard Coach Rule say this week, Bret Bielema teams are Bret Bielema teams. They are what they are. He's done it for a long time now, but what is it like facing a Bret Bielema team?
Yeah, you have to be very disciplined when you're facing a Bret Bielema team because he's very good at his teams being disciplined, right? And they're really good on defense of taking the football away. I don't think I played against a Wisconsin Bret Bielema team where we didn't turn the football over at least once. They're ball hawks, and a lot of that comes from their just aggressive nature on defense. They want to be an attacking defense, and they want to pull back your offense and put you on your heels. And we can't fall into that trap. We have to be the aggressor. And when you can take it to a Bret Bielema football team, then you're the one that's in the driver's seat. And too many times have I been on the other side. I mean, they hung 70 on me in the Big Ten Championship. The first time I played them, Russell Wilson and Monty Ball threw it right down our throats and the whole bit there. But I've also been on the other side where we were able to control the clock and go, and that puts them on edge because now it's not their game, and now they have to play on something they don't want to do. But the number one thing when you're playing a Bret Bielema team is you can't beat yourself because he's going to make you pay. He will make you pay, and his team knows how to make you pay. If you give them a football on a turnover or you allow them explosive plays on offense, they are very good at taking advantage of what you will give them. So the number one thing is you got to make sure you take care of your own business on what you're doing and not having to beat yourselves and a Bret Bielema coach football team.
You know, they're very physical. They want to be very physical. It's also a label of his teams. And then this Nebraska team has said they want to be the most physical football team in college football. What is that matchup like when you have got two teams that's their MO? They want to be physical and they want to battle it out in the trenches. What is it like being a part of a matchup like that?
Yeah, I mean, imagine two silverbacks locked in a cage and only one gets to come out. It's just going to be body blow for body blow and going for it and going after it, and who can pick themselves up when you get knocked down the most and who's going to be the last man standing in the fourth quarter. I would be very hard-pressed to believe that this game does not come down to who can control the fourth quarter. And Matt Rule said it a lot before. He wants the fourth quarter to be boring. He wants us to have a lead and run the football and just kind of ease our way through the end of the game. You're entering Big Ten play now. It's going to be who can control the win in the fourth quarter, who can run the football. And that is in the DNA of Bret Bielema. That's in the DNA of Matt Rule. And guess what? When a rock meets a hard place, we're going to have to figure out which one breaks. And it's going to be really fun to watch. I'm super excited, but it's going to be hard-hitting football, trenches-type football, and it's going to be who can control and who can win the line of scrimmage who's going to win this football game.
Let's start with what you've seen from the Illinois offense. Luke Altmaier's done a great job at quarterback. That's been an area that they've been a little shaky, I guess, in years past, but he certainly is doing a good job taking care of the football. And then Coach Rule has said almost every time he's been in front of the mic, he is quick to point out the wide receivers that he throws the ball to. So break down what you've seen in film and the kind of challenge that they're going to provide for this Nebraska defense.
Yeah, Luke Altmaier's done a great job to start this year of taking care of the football, getting it spread around. But I really think this whole offense runs through that young sophomore running back, Fagan. He is 6'4", 250 pounds. I mean, he is a horse, just a Clydesdale back there running the football. And he's a tone setter. And they're going to want to get him going early in this game. And so, on tape, I see they run a lot out of 12 personnel. They go a lot of downhill. It's not really side to side, try and get your edges. It's smash mouth football, A gap, B gap, C gap. And they're going to test us early with what Northern Iowa did to us, because that was a lot of what Northern Iowa did to us, was just going right through the teeth of our defense. So I would highly expect them to test and go, okay, did they get this fixed during the week? Did they get this fixed on the ability to stop the run on early downs, or are we going to be able to get ahead of the sticks on them? And I think it's going to be a heavy dose of Fagan early and then taking their shots with play actions and Altmaier in the RPO game.
Okay, flipping over to the Illinois defense. There's been guys on the Illinois defense, I feel like every year since I've been here and we've been covering the Big Ten, that you have really, really liked. But another thing that Coach Rhule's talked about, how much they take it away, and you just said that you cannot give them the football, you cannot make mistakes. So what is going to be the key for the Nebraska offense to not let Illinois do what they do, especially on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, I mean, if you watch that Kansas game, they were just in attack mode from the word go. I mean, blitzing and sending guys and getting after it. And, luckily this year they don't have a Newton or a Randolph. Both those guys have gone to the NFL, thank you. Right? But they're still finding guys, and they platoon guys in and out of that front, that it's just going to be a go, 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 get after you type of thing. But where there's smoke, there's fire. And so if they're going to be an attacking up the field type football team, there's yards to be had if you can get a hat for a hat. And so the big thing that I'll be looking for this Husker offense is no free runners, and can we just get a hat for a hat and allow that really talented backfield that we've created to create with their legs. It's going to be tough running. It's not going to be high flying, and hopefully we can get some explosive runs. But I do think this is going to be a war of attrition of first quarter, second quarter, 3 yards, 4 yards, maybe hit a 7-yarder. But it's just going to be who can do that more and more. But that's not going to be possible if we're not really good communication up front and we have right IDs from Ben Scott, and then we can put a hat on a hat for the defense. And then the number one thing, as always, is they have a lot of takeover. They have a lot of takeaways already, and they've scored twice on defense already this year, I believe. We cannot allow the ball to end up in the defense's hands.
Okay, give us your keys, your 3 big keys for this one.
Yeah, the number one key for me is going to be time of possession this week. I think that both teams are going to have very few possessions. It's going to be a fast football game. It's going to be a lot of downhill, a lot of running the clock. And so controlling the time of possession means being very good on third down. So kind of a combination of my first key here for the offense is control the time of possession and be very efficient on your third downs, which means putting yourself in good third down positions, third and manageables, 3rd and 5 or less. So that's number one. Number 2, we have to create negative plays on first down for the defensive side of the ball. This is Luke, Altmaier's done a nice job, but I don't think he's a guy that they want to stand back there and throw the ball on 3rd and 11 or 3rd and 8. Well, to get there, we have to be very efficient with our defense on first down. So winning the line of scrimmage on first down, creating TFLs, and not allowing them to get ahead of the sticks on us is going to be a huge piece of this. And then the last one, I'm going to say it, turnovers. Turnovers. It's the number one. I cannot think, Jess, the last time we had this big of a plus turnover margin at Nebraska. I honestly can't remember the last time we've only given it away twice, and I think we have 5 takeaways. That's a really good margin to start 3 weeks into the year. We have to continue to build on that. We have to not give the football up, and we have to win the turnover battle. Okay, so players to watch. Who will you be keying in on that these guys have to play well, need to play well for the Huskers on Friday? I'm still like Saturday. Bullock's a guy that I'm going to be really keyed into this week. I thought he had a phenomenal game against CU. I thought he got lost in the shuffle a little bit against UNI. Those linemen got up on him quickly. He didn't get off blocks at the second level. Great. But I would really love to see him bounce back and have a big-time game, running sideline to sideline, meeting these backs in the A-gap, meeting those guys in the backfield, using him on the blitz packages. I want to see Bullock have another monster game like he did against CU. On the offensive side, I'm going to be really looking at, I think Banks is time to have his day. I think it's time for Banks to have that breakout game. Nayer's kind of been the guy, sprinkled in Carter Nelson. I'm looking for Banks to get himself into the end zone a couple times and be the guy, because there's film out now, right? They're going to key on 18. They're going to look for where he is. Let's see if Banks can slip out and make something happen in this week's game. Great stuff. Didn't want to close out the podcast. We had kind of hit on a little bit earlier, but 400th sellout. You were a part of the 300th, you said, and the Huskers have won in the 100th, the 200th, the 300th sellouts. But, I think this coaching staff has said all week long, not taking it for granted. I mean, just what a special, special thing that Husker Nation continues to show up. And it's been just such great atmospheres this year. And I know that they're excited to support this team. But I guess maybe just put into perspective, because you were a part of it, how incredible that streak is for a program. It's unbelievable. I mean, in today's era of college football, and especially where the Huskers have been in the last 10 years, to still have a fan base that will, no matter what, rain or shine, cold, hot, come out and support you every single week for 6 to 7 Saturdays a fall, to give up that time to come out and watch the boys in red play. It can't be overstated. And I've played in some of the greatest stadiums in the world. I've played in some of the coolest places in the world in the NFL. I tell people all the time, if I had one more time to strap it on and go out and play, it would be a night game in Memorial Stadium. There's nothing like it. And for a 400th sellout to go out there in front and have a tradition unlike any other and know it's going to be another packed house, and to turn the corner and read on those signs, I play for Nebraska, as you walk out of that tunnel, don't take it for granted, man. And thank you, Husker Nation, from a player that played in the 300th to a fan that's going to hopefully be able to attend the 400th. I hope I'm here for the 500th too. It's just such a special place. It's such a special thing, and you just can't overstate how much it means to this state and to the players on the field.
That gives me chills. Great stuff there. Great perspective. There's going to be a lot of fun things surrounding it. They've already got the signage all over the stadium. I know they've got T-shirts for sale and a lot of cool things surrounding this, because it's something to be celebrated. I know you come to expect it around here, but it's a special feat, and so there's going to be a lot of fun things surrounding it in the game time, during the game, and so great job by Brandon Meyer, the marketing staff, and all Husker Vision, everybody that's contributing, because it's going to be a special night for sure. All right, well, let's. How about we make it 4-0?
Let's do it. Let's make it 4-0. Then let's make it 5, and then let's just keep this train rolling. Do not forget, Jess, I'm out next week. I'm heading for the elk hunt. Heading for the elk hunt on Saturday, so hopefully I'll be shooting you texts from 10,000 feet, trying to figure out what's been going on. But I will not be here next week, so I will see you guys in 2 weeks.
All right, we'll have to make a call into the bullpen and find someone to sub in for you next week. But appreciate it, and we'll talk soon. And enjoy this one.
Absolutely. Go Big Red.
For Jeremiah Sirles, I'm Jessica Coody. This is a Sideline Slice presented by Valentino's Pizza, the official pizza of the Huskers.